Happy New Year, everyone. I hope your holidays were fantastic for you and everybody is safe. This is probably my fourth attempt at trying to film this. There's been cars and dogs barking, everything you can imagine, planes. I'm not going to stop and reshoot this for another time, so this is the one go. I wanted to make a video and answer some questions, talk about where I'm headed as far as woodworking goes. This is not a 2-hour answer every email type video. It's hopefully 5 to 10 minutes at the most. So just hang in there, bear with me. Hopefully I'll answer the majority of everybody's questions. So it's been over 2 years now that I started woodworking. It was pretty much just before the COVID times. And in that time we've had 8 projects that were completed in 2021 and 10 in 2022. And winter is not coming. Winter is here. This is obviously January, just after January 2nd to be exact. And it's going to get colder. So I'm going to hold off on woodworking for a while. And I've got a lot of stuff to do in the garage here. Number one is my wood storage area. That is just complete disarray. I've got to redo that. I got to sort things out, organize them as needed, but nonetheless, I wanted to take some time here and answer some questions that seem to be repeats. They're just worded differently on the emails that I get from you. So let's just jump right into it. So the first one is, how and why did I get started in woodworking? So like many of you, I'm sure, are just your woodworking hobbyists. That's what I am. But it became a huge passion, and how it came about was really weird. It started off with doing the floor molding around my house, as weird as that may sound. I bought a saw and I started cutting it and found out that I was pretty good at compound angles, and I really enjoyed joining pieces together. And I didn't enjoy being on the floor, obviously, but at least doing that kind of thing was kind of fun. So I thought I'd take it to the next level. Went to Home Depot and got like some poplar, thinking that's, oh my gosh, that's like cream of the crop, right around with walnut and stuff. And of course I didn't know any better. I'll get into that here in a second. But so I built a few things, and if you're interested in knowing what those were, before I really started filming anything, or as I'm building them I should say, check out my first intro. It's on my channel here as well. You'll see the things that I built up till more recently. So another thing, I had a friend at work who, I should say I still have a friend, but at my previous place of employment, Mario, you know who you are. It was in the middle of COVID and in the middle of an Arizona summer, and he came out and wanted to, he's working on becoming a film producer and editor himself. He's really enjoying that kind of work. So he wanted to see if we could just do some filming of woodworking. And I think we both found out real quick that it's not as fast as just setting up a camera, filming it, and going. It's a long process. And when you're out in this 115 to 117 degree temperature wearing masks, it's not fun. So that lasted a couple times, and it was a drive as well. So I just kind of went to producing my own videos. So that's one of the reasons why I got into it. Another one was I have some friends at my previous place of employment, Dave, Clint, Chris, you know who I'm talking about, that also have done some woodworking. And of course, when you do woodworking, I'm sure as you've done, you can't help but show off what you've made. And so that kind of inspired them as well, and they said you should make some videos, and same for Mario, obviously, because he wanted to produce them. So that's kind of how all that started. And then I just wanted to at least convey to everybody the different types of woods that are out there, and how easy woodworking can actually be and enjoyable if you have the patience. And you really just got to have the patience. Where did I learn woodworking? Everything that I learned is off of YouTube videos. There's a plethora of great woodworkers that are out there. Some of them have been doing it for decades, and all of their instruction was very spot on. I found it very easy to follow, and it's just a matter of applying it, and again, having a lot of patience. If you don't have patience in woodworking, you're just going to give up on it, and you may have invested in money in tools and whatnot. So just know that going into it, if you're definitely a novice or a beginner like myself, you do need to have patience. And those of you who have been doing it for a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The Moxon Vise and my mallet, which I've amply named Steve, because I name everything that I can't figure out a name for is Steve. I don't know. Anyway, but you can see this survived. I've used them many times. It's been over a good year and a half, 2 years since I've made at least the Moxon Vise. I know on YouTube it shows 1 year, but that'll register 2 years here probably in a month. But they both stood up. All I've done is just resanded it and applied another coating of boiled linseed oil to both of them, and you can see they shine and they look brand new. So as far as using expensive woods and whatnot, you can have nice things that are work surfaces and still look nice. I mean, goodness, it looks like it's brand new. Why do I make the videos? It's probably a better question. So first off, not everything that I make is a product. And I'm going to go off the weeds just a little bit here. What I mean by not a product. So I do make things as gifts for friends, family, as well as sell them. And I sell them to buy tools and expand on the tools that I use in woodworking. And what I mean by going off in the weeds on this is do the fellow woodworkers that do it as a profession a favor. Don't undervalue your products. I see cutting boards like on Facebook Marketplace and Etsy, made out of walnut, which is obviously it's a beautiful wood, and it's a lesser of the expensive exotic woods, obviously, but it's still an unbelievably gorgeous wood, and it's not cheap. But the price that's people are selling them for are just like it's the cost of the materials. And when you do that, you undervalue the market, and the woodworkers that do it for a living, they get undersold. They can't sell their products. So please, there's tons of videos that are out there that show how to price your products. And when you do that and you make some profit, you'll be able to expand your tool woodworking environment such as I have. You've seen like the Japanese hand saws, my hand plane, all those types of tools that you see on there. The majority of them, those were all bought by profits off of cutting boards and custom type things. And to mention that's pretty much what I enjoy doing. That's the only reason why I really enjoy it, and it still remains a passion, is because everything I do is pretty much unique. Yeah, cutting boards, the same dimensions, thickness, length, width, but they're different designs. And I can make different patterns, and I can still expand on that. So I really enjoy doing that, and it doesn't seem to be so what's the word I'm looking for? Monotonous. So not everything is a product, and you can make money off of them, and if that's what you choose to do. I don't want to do it. I'm afraid I'll lose the passion for it, and I really enjoy what I'm doing right now. On the weekends, about 4 or 5 hours, make a video, post it online. Love to hear people's inputs. Don't stop doing that, please. Okay, other question. So the other thing that I do with the videos is what is unique. I don't know that anybody else does it. I'm not saying nobody else does it, but I haven't seen it anywhere else. Is not only do I sell cutting boards and different products, if you will, to customers, but I make their video for them. You'll see in the titles that has the people's names on it. A couple of them are gifts for people, like the latest one that I made, the salt and pepper shaker for Shelly and Gary. But those are most of those types of things, when they have the names on them, those are something that I've sold, and now they have a personal video. So not just a talking piece of that's on their counter or on their table, but that they can share with other people to say, hey, look, this is how it was made. So it's very unique, and I found people really enjoy that. And the last thing I really wanted to do is I wanted to inspire woodworking. I mean, when I say it's a passion, this is a big passion for me. There's not a day that goes by, honestly, in the past 2 years or so, that I haven't thought about waking up in the middle of the night or something, thinking about how I'm going to make a joint, how to join a couple of things, whether I'm going to use a dovetail, whether I'm going to use dowels, whether I'm not going to use finger joints, whatever. I think about things like that. I think about when I'm driving. So that's, yeah, maybe I'm obsessed. That's probably the best word for it. My inspirations. So when it comes to hand woodworking, that's really what I got into. And when I say everything that I learned was off of YouTube, I mean, I was watching a ton of it. I was like a huge sponge. And I really enjoyed the hand woodworking aspect of it, because I'm looking at when I retire from my actual profession, what am I going to do? And so I thought, well, woodworking might be something that I could really get into, and I'm so glad I did, obviously. But it could be something that'll take off. And so I started watching a lot of videos from woodworkers that are really the professionals, like your Paul Sellers, James Wright, Rex Kruger. If you enjoy woodworking, and I'm sorry if I'm missing a bunch more. I mean, there's Matt Esley. There's a bunch of woodworkers that are out there. These are just the three that I watched the most and follow the most, because they've taught me the most. When it comes to raw, like if you don't have necessarily the means to buy expensive tools, you don't have to. Rex Kruger has proved that. And I highly encourage you that if that's your situation where you don't necessarily have the means to go buy a $250 hand plane, that you go ahead and watch those videos, because he even shows you how to make your own tools, and he does a great job of it. Same for Paul Sellers. Paul Sellers he's an English woodworker. If you've never seen any of his videos, he's just phenomenal as well. And then Rex Kruger, James Wright. James Wright's just, I don't know, I find it, his videos entertaining as much as I enjoy seeing the things that he makes. It comes down to people not being afraid to show the mistakes that they make. And I try to share that with you as well when I make my videos. And then when it comes to precision, goodness, I'm sure, these woodworkers that I just mentioned, they're great as far as quality goes and precision as well. But when it comes to precision, the videos that I see the most are from Rob Cosman, and you've probably heard me mention his name a few times in some of my videos. Just very precise quality work. About the woods that I work with. Okay, this one's just constantly asked. So where I want to start with this is I just want to say, if you've never been to a real wood store, I'm not talking the box stores like your Home Depots, your Lowe's, your Menards, that type of thing. Those are great, especially when you're starting out woodworking. But you really don't know woods until you went to a real wood store, whether it's Rockler, whether it's Woodworker Source, or any place that might be close to you. If you get the opportunity, just walk in there and you'll be blown away. At least I was. There are so many different woods out there, and you've seen them on my woodworking videos. There's just beautiful woods out there that most people don't have a clue about. It's just browns and kind of mellow type yellows like your maples and whatnot. But there's woods that have high character, and you see me try to use those all the time in my videos, and I think they're unique. And when I mean unique, is one of a kind. So whoever I make something for, is going to have probably something that nobody else has ever made. Yeah, you could probably replicate it, but when the nice thing comes about wood is when it comes to figured wood, no two are the same. Wood grains never looks the same. Two pieces of walnut will probably never look the same. So it's always something unique. And when you go into those woodworking stores and you want to try to find a piece of wood to work with, look for that. So I'm not going to go over all the woods, but I will go over three of the most difficult woods that I've worked with, and three of the easiest or better woods that I've worked with. So starting off, Purple Heart. God knows, it makes an unbelievable end product. You've seen it on Robert's Gun Ballet. It's just a really, really beautiful wood. I've had so many people ask me, man, how did you stain that? That's not stained, that's natural wood. The only thing I've ever stained that I can think of in my videos was my DSN entertainment center that I built for my wife and myself. But that's the only thing that I've ever stained as far as the finished product goes. A Purple Heart. Purple Heart's a very tough wood, very solid, very durable. Obviously, I use it on my mallet, and I've been using it religiously. You've seen it. And yeah, you might get a little bit mashed here, or maybe get a splinter there. You just take a sand. I take my random Orwell sander, 60 or 80 grit, round that off, 150, and then apply another coating of boiled linseed oil, brand new. But Purple Heart, well, it'll give you splinters. I mentioned that in my other video. it doesn't want to be plain. It like refuses to be plain. At least that's been my experience, and I can't find anybody else who's had real success at doing it. Even Rod Cosman, I watched him do it. You don't really get a good shaving off of it. If any of you do, please share that with me. I'd love to see that, because yeah, I can't get my blade sharp enough. And it's a Wood River 5.5, just absolutely beautiful hand plane. You've seen it in my videos. I can't. I can kind of smooth it out pretty good, but not. The other one is Mesquite. Okay. Now, Mesquite is also a kind of a beautiful blend of kind of ambers and darker wood colors. I really enjoy that. I like it a lot. You can really get some nice figure out of it too. But I always find a lot of checks out of it. So if you end up working with it, sometimes it splits on me. Maybe you haven't had that experience if you ever worked with Mesquite, but that's been my experience, and I never seem to get what I pay for. So I'm just trying to avoid Mesquite altogether. Wenge, just put it in the same boat with Purple Heart. It'll give you splinters. It doesn't like to be hand planed. I made one thing with it. You saw it. That was that cutting board with the diamond. With the diamond pattern on it. That was the only thing that I've made with Wenge. It's very expensive as well. So unless you're looking at making some kind of a keepsake or whatnot, personal item, or you know someone who will pay top dollar for it, I don't suggest buying and making something out of Wenge. It will give you beautiful project end results, if you will, and you've seen that. Easiest woods, pine, number one. Soft woods are easy, right? Except for sometimes when it comes to chiseling, because it's so soft, it almost wants to. The chisel comes down, even when it's a super sharp chisel, when it comes down to chop it, it almost just wants to indent the wood more than just slice through it. But it's still a really easy wood to work with. It planes like butter. It's awesome. And then that also goes without saying walnut. Walnut is that's like the premium one to me anyway. Yeah, it's an American domestic wood, I should say. But it's a beautiful, beautiful dark wood. There's all kinds of figured type ones out there. There's some that have, you've seen Alexis's figured walnut cutting board. If you haven't, check that out. Oh my God, you can make so many beautiful things with walnut. It's just gorgeous. And then canary wood. Canary wood it's another expensive wood. Not as expensive as Wenge, probably half the price, but it is much more expensive than walnut. But it is a pleasure to work with. And it's got a great smell. It's almost like this fruity aroma every time you cut it. Sorry, I had to stop it. That was my neighbor just walked on over when I talked. 2023 projects. So we're wrapping it up here. So thanks for hanging in there if you did. My youngest daughter, she's a huge fan of cosplay, and one of the things that she's been looking for was an Anduril sword, the Anduril sword, I should say. They make them online, but they're very expensive. So she's been looking for one, and I thought I'd go ahead and challenge myself to try to make one. And the boys at the Epic Workshop, if you've never checked them out, they make some unbelievable stuff. It's great, from Renaissance type things, but the Anduril sword, I don't know if I'm even saying that anywhere near right, but it's the sword that Aragorn wielded from Lord of the Rings. Beautiful sword, and like I said, the boys at Epic Workshop, they made one, and so I'm going to try to do something similar to what they make. I'm going to do mine completely by hand if I can. That is my challenge. The only thing I may not do by hand would be resawing the blade itself to the overall length. It's like 50 inches long. I don't want to do that. I'll use my table saw for that. But that's going to be one of the projects coming up for 2023. The second thing I want to make a pirate's chest for my grandson. He's about to turn one, my oldest daughter's son. They've got a cute little theme going on right now. It's a pirate theme for his room. So I reached out to her and asked her what she wanted, and whether it's some kind of a small little pirate's chest or something a little bit larger for like maybe toys and whatnot. So she's thinking something maybe like toys. So that'll be something that we can look into making. And the other thing I wanted to do is I also wanted to kind of stick with the Renaissance type thing and go with Arya's dagger, which is aptly named Cat's Paw. If you watch Game of Thrones, Arya, I don't want to say anything, I ruined the ending if you haven't already seen it. but Aria wields that dagger as well. I think that's about it. I will still answer emails, and I do appreciate all the feedback that I get from everybody. I do take it to heart, and I try to implement things as I go along. I may have left some stuff out, but we'll get it later. But the one thing I did want to share with you is or a request of you is actually, so share your woodworking projects that you have. I'm not going to post them like every month, but what I will do is I'll put them on my video. I'll mention your name, mention the project that you made. We'll talk a little bit about it. Just shoot a picture or several pictures to me through my Gmail account at the end of this video. And at the end of the year, I'll do a recap of all the videos and the woodworking that people have done. I think that'll be kind of fun. I just want to say thanks, and thanks for watching, and thanks for supporting me, and I wish you a great 2023.